Charlie. Charlotte, we called her Charlie for short. She was a beautiful, sassy, fun-loving little girl. She had so much personality in that little body of hers. She was fearless. She loved having fun and playing with her older sisters. She was always laughing. She loved gymnastics and swimming, and she wanted to eat a popsicle for every meal. But yeah, she was the joy in our household for sure. So it was September 3rd, 2019. It was the day after Labor Day. The following day we had planned a beach vacation to California, so we were a little bit out of our normal routine. Instead of sending Charlie to preschool like she would have done, instead of going that one day for the week, we decided to keep her home. And that morning when I went off to work, my husband, who worked from home, was going to keep her home with him, and he was driving the other two older girls to their elementary school. And he dropped them off at school. He proceeded to drive home with Charlie in the back seat, in her car seat. He got home, he got out of his truck, went inside, and started working like he normally did. It wasn't until I had my lunch break at work that I called to see how she was doing, and I could hear the absolute panic in his voice when I asked what Charlie was doing, and he realized at that moment that she was supposed to be home with him that day, and she wasn't there. And he quickly ran out to our driveway, where he opened the truck door and found her there, unresponsive, and he called 911. I was on the phone at my work at the same time as he was doing this. I proceeded to call 911, and I worked about an hour away from our home, so I had to get a ride home. It was the longest hour of my life. A ride to the hospital. And at the hospital, we waited, and we had to leave that hospital without her. She didn't make it, and we had to go home without our baby girl, and we had to go tell our other children that their little sister wasn't going to be coming home, and that she was now an angel in heaven. Their cries, their reaction was absolutely soul-crushing. Since that day, we've made them aware of the dangers of hot cars, and how if they got trapped or if they got stuck in one, what to do, honk the horn, do anything you can, how to unlock it, because it's hard for little kids. I mean, you have to find the button. Sometimes it's all electric. So you make sure, to tell your children if they get stuck in a hot car, how to get out and how to honk that horn to make someone else aware that there's someone inside. It's been a little over 3.5 years, and it's still so surreal that she is not here with us anymore. Every day is a battle. But I have my other daughters that I have to keep on for, and my husband, and we want to live a good life, and we keep her memory alive by talking to her all the time, talking about her, sharing stories and memories, and sharing our story with others to help try to prevent other families from experiencing this type of tragedy that is 100% preventable. I just want to make people aware that this can happen to you. Please do not ever think that this cannot happen to you. It's the biggest mistake you will ever make. I was one of those people. I would see a news story and think, how does someone leave their child in the car? But it's the way your mind works. You are on autopilot. If you're going somewhere, you're doing something, you're out of your normal routine, things get thrown off. It's not that you have forgotten that you have a child. You just have forgotten that they're with you in the car. And especially children that are maybe in rear-facing car seats, babies, they're quiet, they're behind you. It's very difficult to sometimes remember that they're there. So to have things in place, preventative things that will help them to make sure that this doesn't happen to them. Some things that you can do is you can have a stuffed animal that you keep in your car seat. And then when you go in to buckle your child, you take that stuffed animal, a decent size one, not a tiny one, and put it in the front seat next to you. So it's a visual reminder that you have your baby with you. You can have different things. in your car to remind you. You can turn something in your car that's a baby on board, or something that you do each time to remind yourself. Take your shoe off, put it in the back seat. You can't leave your car without your shoe. Put your purse or your work badge or things like that that you need to get out of the car. Calling caregivers if they're going to be driving your child around, a spouse that doesn't normally take your child here or there, making sure that you call them that they reach their destination and that the child is there. Talking to your child care provider and making sure that there's maybe a system in place if there's not one, because most of the time there isn't one, and it's something that I think should be, that if a child doesn't arrive to their child care, and they would be normally there, that those child care providers call the parents and ask, where's Sarah today, and check to make sure and find out why that child's not there, because it can save a life. My husband is a very, very loving father, very involved. Like I said, he would take the girls to school. He picked them up from school. He fed them breakfast. He often fed them dinner. I worked an hour away from home. I had a commute in front of me before work, after work, and it was crushing to him. The guilt that he's had to deal with since that day has been tremendous. Luckily, we have a huge support, a big family support system. Our community rallied around us. We had pink bows everywhere in our neighborhood. We had so much support through our church, friends, family, and community, and that's what's helped us get through it. My husband and I have each other. We've been married for almost 17 years. We have other beautiful children that we need to be there for. So we keep Charlie's memory alive, and we spread awareness. And that's how we've kind of dealt with the daily life of living with this tragedy. After she passed, a friend had made some pink decals and stuck it on all our cars. So at the service, all of our cars had the pink decals on them, and that's become her symbol for us. So I've gotten a tattoo. We have bracelets in her name, in her memory, that also have Kids in Car Safety on them, which is the nonprofit organization that I work with to help educate and create laws to prevent this from happening. But yeah, the pink bow is our symbol for her now. I miss her so much. She was just such a light. And if sharing my story can help another family not have to lose their baby girl, their baby boy, then how difficult this is to share and to do, it's all worth it if it just saves one person.